Hello, Sally.
How are you?
Good, how are you?
Well, obviously never done one of these, so I'm trying to work out. Am I all good? Can
You
you
are
see
all
me?
good. You are all good. We're perfect.
Okay,
Just
amazing.
yeah, put yourself if you need to like tilt it slightly so that you're in the frame because you obviously have less
I
space.
I didn't realise. Yeah,
No, that's perfect.
there we go.
We were nearly wearing a matching top, but I just changed actually.
Oh,
So,
I was wondering what you would be wearing.
which is quite funny because I think there's so much synchronicity with us. It's quite crazy. We should
Yes, absolutely.
have a little chat about that in general, but. So thank you for joining us here. Obviously, yeah, I just wanted to get you to share a little bit more about what you do, about your content creation, about your story. So thank you. And yeah, I think that people get a lot of like just a few insights from how they can create content and what you do as well. So
Yeah, sure. Thanks, Mel. Thanks for having me. I mean, this is my first live, so I'm having like a panic attack. I'm nervous.
I know it's like you're not normally nervous, I'm sure, when you're doing stuff, but then you're like, I've never done this before.
It's
So it's like
so,
you
I know you do them so well, but I just have no idea. I feel like everyone's judging me that's jumping on. But anyway, please don't. I've
you
just
know
got my
what?
kids at school.
If people are judging you, then let them judge you. Like,
Yeah,
because
okay. Judge away, judge
honestly,
away. I'm so disheveled. Okay. So yeah, so what I do, so
yeah.
I am a kind of, I suppose, accidental content creator. My career started in TV production about, 15 years ago, probably 16, 17 years ago now. I was young and I got into TV, worked my way into editorial, which is like
Hmm.
I kind of started producing content, or sorry, producing TV shows, mostly reality shows, some documentaries as well. And I
You,
was doing that full time for forever, and had my kids through the process. And then I suppose what happened was we started renovating this house. I'm obsessed with color. I renovated it with my own style. Didn't really think about anything forward planning with shoots. And then obviously, because I work in TV, friends would come over that were in the industry and were like, oh, we should use your house for this shoot, this shoot, this shoot. And so that's kind of how it happened. And then I was almost just like, oh, I can actually start to shoot things myself. I don't need
mm,
to hire my house out. And that's how it's taken fold. And then through that, because I love DIY, I love home renovation, I love changing my style all the
mm,
time. Brands seem to be able to get a rotating usage of their content in
mm.
my house because I am changing things. That wall's pink one week and then the next week it's blue. So there's lots of different areas. There's, always I've got plans, even just looking around the house now, that there's kind of painter's tape up there. I've always seemed to be changing things. But I'm really changing things for myself, not for the
Yeah,
business. I change
yeah.
things because I really do love it. But I also love film production.
Mm.
And so
Well, and
I've
that's
managed
it.
to kind
Like,
of,
yeah, that background and I guess just knowing how to frame things, knowing what shots are needed, all that sort of stuff. Like, and I think that's where everyone's work or job, like, one thing does lead to another. It's like a natural evolution because, I mean, yeah, for most people, like, probably hearing what your TV work, it's like, oh my gosh, dream job working on reality TV, producing it all. But obviously, it's pretty hard work and it's evolved and changed as you've grown and what you're where you're at different stage of your life as well.
I do still work in TV.
Yeah,
I've always been a freelancer ever since I was 20. So it's always on a freelance basis. That's what, a lot of people that work in TV are freelancers.
yeah.
Um, but yes, I think with my So Sally Said business, I've been able to mesh my love for interiors and DIY and home
Mm,
renovation and fashion with film production.
mm,
So still being able to kind of get my kicks out of filming things and making content and editing content
mm.
just how I would see it on a reality show, and
Yeah.
creating situations on reality shows where I might be interviewing somebody and I'm thinking about the whole set. I'm thinking about, in content, we call it hooks.
Hmm.
In TV, we call them grabs,
Hmm.
where you're kind of grabbing the best bits out of content and putting them front and center. If you see a commercial for Married at First Sight, it will be the most dramatic grab that someone says something. Same as social media. It needs to be the most dramatic hook at the
Yeah,
beginning of all your content
to
to get
capture
people
people
in.
in. Yeah. Some people may recognize your background too, for I've had a photo shoot at your house.
Yes.
And, you know, I think we can go back, I'll just go back a tiny bit. So we met at the huddle years, I think it was the first huddle actually. You were sitting, you booked a session with me actually that was in the jumbled store.
Hmm.
And then we couldn't fit it in, but you happened to sit behind me at the event. And so then we got chatting then and we had a session together. And then after doing, I actually used your space for because you used to, I know that you don't do this anymore, you used to rent out for a
Hmm.
location.
Hmm.
And then we had a road trip together because I randomly said, "Hey, Sally, are you going to the huddle again?" And we randomly, I think we'd spent about half an hour together, but decided to then have a 3-4 hour journey together. So that was fun.
It was the best. And also, I think, when I first met you at the huddle, that was when I'd first kicked off, so Sally said. So that
Yeah,
first year I had the business, I think I'd only had the business 6 months when I met you first. I really didn't know what I was doing. I knew I loved interiors. I knew that I kind of, at that stage of my business, I was helping other people with their homes,
yeah.
which I really loved. And I was trying to really hone in on what it is I truly loved. And that's why I booked the session with you, just to
Mm.
try and refine it. And then obviously I got 3 hours in a car with you, which was like the best. So, and I
We
think,
didn't stop talking the whole time. It was fun. It was
yeah,
fun.
and I think
Yeah.
that's what business is. It's like a constantly evolving into
Mm,
finding eventually what it is. And it's hard work.
mm,
There is a lot of unpaid hours when you're running your own business.
yeah.
And then all of a sudden you flip and you have a new idea. So it's almost like you feel you've reset yourself. Now I have to start again on that road.
Mm,
But I've definitely found what it is. I'm set.
love.
I love
And
what I do.
so when you now do, so what you do now is, yeah, you do that content creation for brands. So
Hmm.
your brands are contacting you and saying, hey, we've got a new product
Hmm.
or we've
Hmm.
got this new launch. Can you help us create some content around that? Tell me a little bit about what the process is.
Yeah, exactly that. So I think, yeah, exactly. So if it's a brand that I specifically want to work with, say I'm doing a home renovation and I have an
Yeah, okay.
idea, I will pitch myself to a brand, send
Hmm.
them my media kit, give them a kind of a presentation on what I can do, what I can offer,
Yeah.
how I can represent their brand, and then it's up to them if they want to come on board or not. And then the
And
other way
actually,
is,
just on that note,
mm,
if anyone wants the media kit, just to comment media, and I'll send it to them afterwards as well.
yeah, for
So
sure.
yeah, yeah,
Um,
yeah,
Yes. So and then the other way is brands contact me directly and say, hey, we're dropping a new summer collection, whether it's clothes, cushions. People have contacted me and said, I've got new blinds, and if it's something that I'm interested in and I
yeah,
truly only will pitch products that I love
yeah.
I love and need.
That work with your
Um,
space and who you
and it
are as
goes
your
with my
brand.
space.
Yeah,
But I also shoot content for brands that I don't need to post on my social media
it's
because
just for their content.
correct.
Yeah,
I do on my sorry, my phone has just done something. On my my own social media page, so Sally said, if you look at it, that is basically my portfolio.
yeah,
There is so much other content that I shoot that I don't post because it goes
mhm,
straight to the client and it's for them. And I
yeah.
do different kinds of things. I create content for brands as well as, I can call in a crew and we can do a professional photo shoot
Mm.
for your
Which you're doing
website
for a client for me soon, actually. Yeah.
yesterday, and the photographer's just about
Oh,
setting up today, second
okay.
day.
So that's for that shoot, is it? Okay.
Yes.
So this is for my client who has a new card game,
Yes, and
and
I've painted my nails pink because
oh,
I'm the
I
hand
love
model.
it. So because I said to he was asking me, who do I go to? Where's a Sydney photographer? And I was like, he sent me a few ideas, and I was like, nah, that space is not going to work. It needs to be fun. It needs to be a bit, colourful,
Mm-hmm.
retro. And so I suggested you, and love that you're actually doing it now in your space because I think it's such a perfect
Yeah.
place for
And
it.
I think
So
I think the thing is as well, it takes time,
yeah,
and I think I feel really a lot. I feel for product-based businesses because having to also adopt the whole
marketing,
beast
be a content
marketing that
creator.
is content and having to be a content creator as well as an artist just is a minefield. But I also I think about that for my own business. It's hard work, but also I think a good thing to remember is that it is free advertising. Years ago we used to have to buy pamphlets, do a letterbox drop, buy magnets,
Yeah.
put your poster up at the local bus stop. This is now free advertising, and it just is what it is. But
Mm,
it definitely takes time. And so with what I do, I take it the time, give businesses their time back, and I'll
mm,
do their batch content for them, and they can
mm,
post it whenever, however. They
mm.
don't need to tag me unless it's they want me to post something about them and tag them,
Yep.
of course.
Mm-hmm.
But there's no kind of, I try not to be like an influencer
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
where,
You're a content creator more. Yeah.
yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Producing content for brands is kind of what I do.
And what in terms of what type of brands, I know you did touch on it before, so just give me an example of a couple that you might have
Well, I'm
either
doing a
done.
super
Yeah.
fancy card game today.
Oh, yes.
And so, like, I've done tequila,
Yep. Yep.
alcohol brands in the
Mm-hmm.
kitchen,
Mm-hmm.
fashion. I've just done a fashion content. Sorry, I've just done content for Beyond Nine,
Mm-hmm.
Bonnie and Neil, Kip and Co. All those delicious ones. I've done,
Homewares. Yep.
Smeg appliances,
Mm-hmm.
Freedom shoots for Freedom, but also small brands, really
Mm-hmm.
small brands, startups.
Mm-hmm.
People that might make
Well, Golden
bracelets.
Sausage, Joel's a startup.
The
He's
Golden
just getting,
Sausage,
yeah,
exactly, which is a
yeah.
great game, by the way. Yeah, so many great big and I've shot things in the house for Channel 9.
Mm-hmm.
So some huge productions, and then just some really little ones that people just want some phone content from. And
Yeah.
and when I speak to a client, I'll say, look, I can do all of this, make reels and video and things for your stories and your content. But why don't we package it up with some professional photos, so you've got great cover photos, some shots for
Mm-hmm.
your website, and I can do voiceovers. I kind of like give them ideas on how I can
Yeah.
create their content, and then they can go more, they can go less, they can work out what suits them. Some
Yeah.
people are like, look, I don't want any professional, or I
Mm-hmm.
don't want any on the phone. I want everything professional.
Yeah,
Just
yeah, yeah.
depends.
Okay. And also you could do one-off stuff, or you can be a regular,
Which
like
I
monthly
am. There are
content.
quite a few
Yeah.
brands out there that now I'm a regular every
Mm-hmm.
3 months or every season change. I get a delivery,
Yeah.
and I shoot all their content. So I know them really well, and I shoot their content, and then I send their items back to them for them to
Yeah.
sell on.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't, yes, some brands I do keep the stuff if that's
Mm-hmm.
part of the contract.
Yeah. But you
But
don't want to be
some,
working just for product either. So that's the thing. You know,
yeah, and
yeah.
I can't pay bills, with
Yeah.
pillows.
Yeah.
Although, sometimes you can, because God, they're nice.
But that's it. Like it can be a range of things. It doesn't have to be
It's
it
all
doesn't have
like
to be takeover. Yeah.
that's right. I think that's the thing. It's always open for discussion, and I'll talk to the brand as I'll put my TV producer hat on and say, right, okay, this is your brand. This is how it's looking to me. This is
Mm.
what I see for you, because I can see on your social media. This is, as an outsider's point of view, this is what your brand looks like to me. Would
Mm.
I buy your product? I don't know. Like, I
Yeah.
think that you need X, Y, and Z.
Mm-hmm.
And then they can work out from that.
Yeah.
I genuinely give it always comes from a place of love and honesty. And sometimes it's a hard honest, because
Mm-hmm.
sometimes I'm really like, hey, there's nothing on your page that would make me want to buy your product.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I think that comes from my experience as being a TV producer, because I can be really firm and hard and say, nope, that's absolutely not going to work. And I
Mm-hmm.
spend a lot of time on my content. If you haven't noticed, a lot of editing, a lot of time that I've really put into making sure that all my brands that I showcase
Mm.
are 100%. I will not send anyone content unless I'm 100% sure it's post-worthy.
Mm. Well, you do some fun stuff too. So you've done some crazy, like I know I saw a recent reel where you did the editing where you're jumping in the air and stuff like that. Like I'm sure it
Yeah.
takes hours of and but obviously the more you do it, the easier it gets in some ways.
Yeah.
But still, yeah, some creative output that you're putting out there.
Yeah. I definitely take a bit of time to soak in once I get the product, and I think about what I've got, and I look at the brand's vibe. I look at
Hmm.
their own social media, their website. I look at who's tagging them in photos as
Yeah,
well, and what kind of clients they have.
yeah,
Who is their customer?
Yeah.
And then I really think about, okay, what does their customer, how do they customer want to see their product? So for example, that jumping reel with Confetti Rebels,
Mm.
like it's all fun,
Yeah.
and the people, like Amy is such a great business owner. She's so organic and fun and
Yeah.
real. And her customers are that. And
Yes,
so, of course,
exactly.
they want to see a 43-year-old woman jumping around like that. Like, that's exactly what they want to see. And I will do
Yeah.
it.
No, no holding back. And
No.
even just the way you touched on earlier, but like you're constantly reinvigorating your spaces and stuff. So there are, I know, different moments within your house, within your location, and you obviously can do in other spots as well. But you just recently did a laundry. Tell me a little bit about some of the things that you did in there.
Oh, yes. Well, my laundry,
I did ask to come and see the laundry, but that's just gonna be too hard to move around. But anyway,
oh my God, it would have been very funny if I was sitting in the laundry doing this. But yeah, I get it because it's my favorite room in the house. It's so
yeah,
nice. The laundry, yeah, I did it. It's become very popular. I didn't actually, and like I said, I don't renovate to think, oh, this is going to be a great reel,
mm,
or that color is something I'm going to, shoot in. I genuinely do it because I like it, and I'm not afraid of color. I'm not afraid of also changing things in
mm,
5 years if that color's gone out.
yeah,
I'm really into DIY. I'm hands-on with all my renovations, so that's the cost saver of me,
yeah,
having to redo things down the track if I want to. Yes, so the renovation was done beginning of this year. It was completed. There were a lot of brand partnerships with that renovation. So again, brands coming in board to, I would pitch and say, okay, this is what I am. This is my plan. This is my vision.
mm,
Are you wanting to come on as a partner? I can create content for you for your websites. Then obviously plug it on my socials, direct people back to buy your product.
mm,
And generally, yeah, that's basically how it came together.
mm,
I'm never ever looking for a handout, but there is some sort of kind of negotiation with, okay, well, my content's going to be worth this much. How
yeah.
much is your product? And we kind of just work out a deal from that.
Mm-hmm.
But yes, it's colourful, and I love it. I feel so good when I'm in there finally. I've never had a nice laundry in my life. I've always grown up with crap laundries, like the worst.
Well, there definitely would be the last thing probably people do even think about, or it is an afterthought.
Yes. I think that is, I think people do renovate their laundries last. And
Yeah,
I just had to rip the band-aid off and say, I can't live with this laundry anymore. It was
yeah,
horrid. I think on one of my posts of my laundry on my page, if you swipe all the way right, you'll see the before photos. And it was,
yeah,
it was definitely up there with horrid.
yeah, yeah. I don't remember actually going into it when I was there, so
I wouldn't have let
you
you.
probably hid it away.
Yeah, absolutely. It wasn't part of my brand.
Oh no, that's funny. Okay, so yeah, so you work with all different size brands. So someone can do a one-off thing, or they can do, as you said, you don't necessarily have to keep the product, or it can be returned, or you can do monthly content stuff. And I think that's the thing. Like, it is hard for people to do everything if they are running their own business. They're doing so many different things as well. Just in general, what do you have any tips for creating content? Just for anyone who's like maybe is going to still keep doing some of it themselves. Any sort of like
Well,
little,
I think that, for a product-based business, batching content is really important. That's how I shoot my content.
yeah,
I'll spend a couple of days a week completely filming, and I jump from that shoot to that shoot, different areas of the house. I've got a few different rigs, a few different setups with
mm-hmm,
cameras and different lighting around the place that stays up.
yeah.
And I know, I can just move it just a little bit to get to that area a little bit. I have a
That's a
really
good
good
idea,
system.
actually, like keeping a setup, if you
Yeah.
can, because it really could make life easier as
And
well.
even just moving things just slightly
Hmm.
create a different look.
Mm.
Dimming the light or highlighting the light, changing my clothes. I mean, when I shoot content in the house, it's like my whole wardrobe is across the dinner table because I'm constantly change that top because,
Yeah.
I'll be posting that. I batch my stories. I never post anything in real time.
Hmm.
Um, and I overshoot everything.
Hmm.
If I think I haven't got it, I shoot it again, shoot it again. I have, a couple of spare ways I shoot things on a professional camera as well as as phones.
Yeah.
Storage is a huge issue for me,
Yeah.
and I then sit and I edit, and I damn well hope that when I'm editing, I don't have to go back and reshoot everything.
Yeah.
That's why I overshoot everything, and editing can take me 10 hours.
Yeah.
Sometimes I'm
What sort of
editing.
things do you edit on?
I use edits now.
Yeah.
I
Okay.
was using CapCut for a while,
Mm-hmm.
and then I've just transferred to Edits.
Mm-hmm.
I
Which is
sometimes
the,
use,
if those who don't know, it's the Instagram editing app. Yeah.
yeah, and it's great. And you can load in, sorry, link up your trending audio, your saved audios, all linked in with that, and it's so easy.
Yeah.
I use iMovie, some Apple programs as well if it's bigger stuff,
Mm-hmm.
and Photoshop.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I
Good to
also,
know.
when I bring in extra crews in, they have their own kind of edit suites, edit facilities,
Yeah.
for things like website shots, etc.
Yeah. And so you touched on there as well, like sometimes you are doing professional shots. So today you've got a photographer
Mm-hmm.
who's you're sort of guiding lots of the content or styling, say maybe some
Mm-hmm.
of it,
Mm-hmm.
and they're doing the shooting for you. So you're sort of
Mm-hmm.
working in a combo with people as well.
Yeah, I always work with the same photographer who's just a local friend of mine, and she's
Mm-hmm.
incredible. I've worked with her for years on heaps of different shoots, and so we have a really good system. She knows my house really well. We kind of
Yeah.
both know our roles when we're doing a shoot. We brainstorm. We have creative meetings always
Mm-hmm.
before a shoot, and we kind of start pitching ideas to each other, and then we
Mm-hmm.
come up with a final creative plan. We map it out with mood boards. We have, there's teas and coffees and papers everywhere. And then we narrow it right down, and then we make a call sheet and a rundown.
Yeah.
We're really official about it because, with my
Time's
experience,
money. Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
with my experience in TV, if you don't do that, then you will be overshooting. You'll waste your photographer's time.
Mm.
Everyone needs to know what their expectation is and how they're going to deliver, and then their editing process and what's the timeline,
Yeah.
when's the cutoff, what's expected, what does the client want. So
Yeah.
it's a really thought out process, and we don't take it lightly. We're pretty serious about our
Yeah,
content for sure.
yeah. Well, I think that's the thing. Like, content is crucial right now, and I always say, we don't want to rely on social media or Instagram as your marketing strategy, but the content you create should be getting used in all different places in terms of not just Instagram,
Mm.
not just TikTok or
No.
social, but it should be on your website. It should be
Yes.
in media. It's for PR. Like, there's all different places that
There's
this
so
content
much.
can be
Yes, it's
used.
definitely not
Email.
just
Yeah.
absolutely, yeah, absolutely not relying just on social media. The
Mm,
thing is with social media, it is your free platform to showcase your portfolio. That's what
yeah.
it is.
Yeah.
You need to definitely
Have
look
it.
into
Yeah.
the other avenues. The PR is so important.
Mm,
Website, SEO,
mm,
so many other elements of it, which
mm.
is where you come in.
Yeah. Yes, actually, yes, definitely. And I've got a session next week. I've got another live session actually next Thursday, which actually is 10 o'clock. So it's going to be the same time.
There we
Well,
go.
I think we have to go now, Sally, because you've got to get off and to go to your shoot.
I do.
So thank you so much
That's
for
okay.
sharing a little bit about your story, about what you do and how you help brands.
Thanks,
Anyone
Mel.
who wants to get access afterwards, I'll put the live on as a replay, and they can get your media kit, and we can send it through to them once if they comment and share some more information.
Awesome. Thanks, Mel. Thanks for having
Good
me.
luck today, and yeah, thanks for being here.
That's all right. Thanks for having me. I'll
All right,
speak to you soon.
thanks, Ellie. Bye.
Bye.